What is up, YouTube? This is Vindy Swartz, and I'm coming to you guys with a deck profile. This is the deck that I took to the Middle Tennessee Anime Convention, formerly known as MTAC, and I got first place. And so, for everyone that was in the comments on the post that I made, this is that video. And today I'm going to show you what I played, why I played, my specific choices, and go over my matches and let you know that this is a good deck and you should definitely play it if you're thinking about playing in DigiFest. Well, not DigiFest, but the Ultimate Cups. Alright, so first I'm going to start off with my eggs. These are all the eggs that I played. This is all you need. These guys are essential for this deck. Every time you add a source, you equip the source, you're going to be drawing a card. This is very valuable and it helps you dig for your cards with consistency. This is all this deck does, is just do consistent stuff. And so to go along with that consistency, we are running the 4 copies of the Black Memory Boost and the Tamer Kota Domoto. This guy lets us dig through our deck for 4 cards and add an X-Antibody Digimon from them to our hand, and then put the rest at the bottom of the deck. And then the Black Memory Boost pretty much does the same thing as this guy, and then it has the delay effect, which is really good. Helps us with further plays. If our opponent sets us to 1, we can pop the Memory Booster in the following turn to give ourselves 3 and never miss a beat. It's just really good. It helps you see a lot of your stuff, and it keeps us with that consistency that we need. And to round off my options, I am playing 4 copies of the best card, Zubagon Punch. This card is really good. It's a very good offensive and defensive card. This card reads that one of your Digimon, regardless of what the color is, as long as you have black somewhere on the board, gets 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's next turn. And then if that Digimon's attack reaches the threshold of 16k, that Digimon will be rewarded with blocker, reboot, and security attack +1. This is very good. I love seeing this card at 4, specifically after my opponent swung into security and added it to my hand. That will allow me to make plays for the future. Most of the time, you're going to use this very offensively and defensively, like I said earlier. You're going to be able to swing for from 3 to 5 checks in this deck off of 1 Zubagon Punch, and it's amazing. People are like, man, Jessamon does the same thing, but nah, Jessamon ain't swinging for 5 checks in the 1 turn, my guy. So why would you play Jessamon, which is a bad version of this deck, when you can just play this deck? It's very consistent. It has really good matchups across the board. You may have some problems with blue, but honestly, it's just a 50-50 matchup from all of the testing that I've done. I didn't play any blue whatsoever in this tournament. I'll just get that out of the way. But during my testing on Discord in the Digimon 2020 group, I grinded so hard with this deck. And like I said, blue is just a 50-50. And I'll get into why it's such a 50-50 while we're going into this deck profile. But for the rookies, I only play 11 rookies, so I'm going to get these out of the way right quick. First, we're going to start off with the 3 Toyagumon. These, I've seen a lot of people either play Chumon in this place. Toyagumon facilitates that need that we need in this deck. Having reboot is very good protection for our Digimon. You'll see in my deck profile that I play things that really complement this reboot. But reboot is just really good for this deck because you can swing with your huge source and you can unsuspend it with reboot. That way your opponent can't swing into it because your Dorugoramon will lose that boost during your opponent's turn. So we have to run Toyagumon. Toyagumon at 3 is just really good. The reason I don't run Chumon is because most of the time, if we're playing against that blue matchup or if we're playing against yellow, they're going to get the memory regardless of what we do. Chumon isn't going to help us for that matchup. And even if we did have Chumon out, the most they can gain is like 2 per turn, 2 memory per turn most of the time. Unless we're playing against something like Lilith. So the most that they're gaining off of card effects is just 2 memory per turn. It's not enough to just end the game on us. to where something like Sora Joe or TK and Kari is just very detrimental, and we can't deal with that regardless of what we do unless we play Zwart defeat. So with that being said, I am playing 4 copies of Sunarizamon. You have to play this guy. This is a staple in all black decks as for the moment. This guy is just very quintessential in your combos and getting that 3 to 5 checks like I was saying. Most of the time you're just going to be raising an area anyway. So playing the Sunarizamon is just really good. Digivolving into raising it this or the Toyagumon is essentially all you're going to be digivolving into when raising. You never want to digivolve into your dorumons, which I'm about to bring out. This guy is just really good. Not only do you get that security attack +1, but if you hard play this guy and you already have a Digimon that you're about to bring out, so you will bring out that Digimon that has 13k or above and then swing. If your opponent has a suspended Digimon, you're going to be piercing over, and it's better than just swinging with Chaosmon. It's less effort that way, and it gives your opponent fodder to try and pop. That way they don't get punished for the following turn. So you got to play Sunarizamon at 4. It's just a really good card to help you gain so much advantage in this game. And lastly, for the rookies, I am playing 4 copies of the Dorumon. Please excuse this one. I ordered one in the mail about a month ago and it never came in, so I'm just waiting for my 4th alt to randomly get here whenever it decides. But this guy, along with all of your other X-Antibody cards, are the equip cards that you definitely want to keep in hand. You never want to digivolve this guy in raising unless it's the only option that you have. You just want to keep this guy in hand. All of your X-Antibody cards are pretty much like the song Texas Hold'em. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and you got to keep these guys in hand if you want to win this game. This guy is just really good because if you digivolve into on 3 for your ultimate and then you digivolve, use the effect, you can put this guy under it and then digivolve again. You can choke your opponent at 2 memory, and sometimes you can even choke them at 1 memory. If your opponent just goes ahead and puts you at 4 memory, you digivolve for 3, you'll gain a memory. You can do a lot of stuff by digivolving for 1 more time and giving your opponent over that 1 memory. So you gotta make sure you hold these guys. I'm gonna leave these up here for just a second, and then we're gonna go into our champions. So for the champions, I kept it simple and I played 10. I know a lot of people may play 12, but I like playing 10. Or I think I play 10. I may not play 10. I think nope. I play 11. Okay, I play 11, or I play 10. I don't know. I can't count right now. But anyway, Dark Tyrannomon is just really good. It's that one Evo that you need. This is pretty much the most generic you're gonna get. You can take this guy out if you don't have Dark Tyrannomons for the tank mons. Same thing, but it's a blocker. Sometimes you will want that occasional blocker, but if not, like I said, you can change it out if you want to keep it more aggro. Next, we're gonna play. I like to call him Shrek, but it's Grumblemon. You gotta humble the Grumble. Grumblemon humbles all opponents. If your opponent doesn't think you're going for game, they're lying. Especially if you use your memory boost to search for the Grumblemon. Boy, do they know that game's coming soon. Anyway, Grumblemon is really good because he's that hybrid Digimon that we can use to digivolve over our Tamer whenever we want to go for game in like 2 swings. This guy is just really good if they give us a lot of memory on the crackback. On top of that, he's a 5 cost, so you can just drop. If you have your Tamer out, you can just drop Grumblemon for 3 and choke your opponent at 2 memory. He's a 2 Evo. He's just really good. Grumblemon is just essential if you want to win with this deck. He helps you go for games. And last, we're playing the Dorugamons. This is really good. This guy, I never wanted to hard digivolve into this guy in raising or anything in my lines. Again, just like the Dorumons, this guy is one of your equip cards that you want to keep in hand. Unless you want to beat over a Digimon or you want to make sure that you're getting all your checks thoroughly with a big beefy beat stick. This is why you use this guy. He does have the blocker ability to where if this Digimon has X-Antibody in its traits or a Digimon with X-Antibody on the board, this guy gains blocker, but most of the time we're not blocking with him. We're going to block with Dark Tyrannomon, or we're going to block with our big beefy beater. after we Zubagon punch. Next for my ultimates, this is very different from what a lot of people play. I know some people they play Volcanomon, some people like Warimonzimon, and I'm here to tell you guys that I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You gotta play metalgreymon. The reason why you're playing metalgreymon is because he goes in tandem with the Toyagumon, and he does something that Volcanomon just simply doesn't do. With Volcanomon, your opponent has to have a Digimon that's unsuspended. Just say your opponent doesn't want to get their board wiped. Most of the time, they're not going to play a Digimon. Especially if you're playing against like something like Yellow or Security Control, you're never going to get that extra security check that Volcanomon gives you because there aren't any Digimon. So why not play metalgreymon? Because you're gonna have the reboot from your Toyagumon. Again, you're never digivolving with these guys. So Toyagumon is really good. And even if you digivolve with Sunarizamon and you don't inherently have the reboot from the Toyagumon, you always can fall through with Zubagon Punch to help bail you out. And not only will you be getting Security Attack +1 from metalgreymon with the Zubagon Punch, but you'll be getting Security Attack +2 alongside with the final Zubagon Punch. So this is a really good combo for what you want to do in this deck. And on top of that, if you want to swing with metalgreymon, you can swing over a Digimon that they play that's low level and they swung just to do chip damage. You can swing over the Digimon with metalgreymon and then just reboot him. That's why I run him. He's really good for doing that when you want to get rid of Digimon that chip at your damage. Next, for the best guy, you got to play for this guy. You got to play for. You got to get the pre-release stamps. That's how they do more damage that way. I'm just kidding. But anyway, you want to play for this guy. Somewhat like every other Doru in this line, you rarely do you ever want to just digivolve into this guy. Especially digivolving into Raising, you never want to do that because you're going to lose value with equipping him. But on the chance that you do feel lucky and you feel like you can't be stopped the following turn, you can push out Digivolve into this guy. If you have another copy of himself, put it under them or put any of your other equips in there and do God's work. Like I said, this deck is tailored to swing for big damage, and that's all you're doing. The only down part about this deck is that you lose really fast to something like Red Hybrid, just because Red Hybrid is just belligerent with how it does with the Agunimon combo with the Ancients, but no one's playing that crap, so you don't really have to worry about it as much. But this guy is he's so good. You got to run this guy. This is like one of your best equips that you play in this deck to help you just completely OTK and shit on your opponent. Next, for my megas, I am playing 3 copies of Alphamon. I ended up finding my third one. It was just somewhere in my bag, but you got to play 3 Alphamon. This guy is just really essential for the deck. He's pretty much like your negate attack in Yu-Gi-Oh! Whenever he's checked in security, if you have another Digimon with X-Antibody on board, you can negate up to 12 attacks that your opponent has on board. And then when attacking, you can pay increments of 1,000 life, of 1,000 memory. I'm sorry, I'm thinking Yu-Gi-Oh! But you can pay up to 1,000. You can pay up to a lot. You can pay as many up to 5 memory and gain 1,000 for each memory, so you can boost him by 5k if you wanted to. And what's so good is that at the end of the attack, if you don't do that perchance, he's pretty much just a 1-cost Evo just to play him. So you will Digivolve for 3, go to 0, swing with Alphamon. At the end of the attack, if Alphamon survived, you'll gain that 2 memory, making him a super cheap 1-cost card. That way you can Digivolve into your level 7 on top of him and choke your opponent for even more memory. That's another combo. Write that down, kids. So this is just really good because when you have the Sunarizamon, again, when you have the Sunarizamon under him for his stack, and you have 2 of these bad boys, you're swinging for 4 checks, kids. 4 checks. You can swing with Alphamon and just completely destroy kids. They don't see it coming. Alphamon is just really good. and he's going to get even better with the following sets. Next, I'm playing 4 copies of the Dorugoramon. This is just really the ace monster in this deck. He is so good, guys. He is so good. For each Digimon, for each card with X-Antibody in its trait, this Digimon gets 1,000. So, one, this facilitates the needs for Sunarizamon to trigger the security attack +1. And then when attacking, you may equip an X-Antibody card from your traits onto this Digimon, and you can delete up to 2 Digimon with the same play cost equal to the amount of traits that you have. So whenever you bring this out, you're going to be swinging for 5. So you can delete Digimon up from 3 to 5. From cost, you can delete 5 costs and below. Second turn, you're swinging again, you'll be able to equip 6 costs. Next turn, 7 costs. It's going to keep ramping up and keep ramping up. The reason why I always say that this deck has a 50-50 matchup with blue is simply because they aren't going to be able to source strip you fast enough, especially if they don't play the Sora Joe first thing off the bat. If they don't play that, it's definitely a 50-50 matchup in your favor because you're a lot faster than them. You'll be able to add more sources and equip more X-Antibodies to him more than they'll be able to trash your sources. On top of that, you have ways to deal with most of their Tamers. They're gonna be behind anyway because more than likely they give you 3 to 4 memory starting off, so that's enough to go into him during your second turn if you have the right cards. And I tried to make sure that I tailored this deck towards consistency and be as consistent as possible. And I never opened up with a brick hand. Like, this event had no mulligans, no side decks. I opened up the nuts almost every game. There were some times where I didn't open up with a rookie, but it's okay because I had grumblemon. And hard playing a grumblemon if your opponent gave you 3 memory from a tamer or 4 memory, doesn't really matter. It's more in your favor than anything. But this guy is just really good. You can delete, like, some combos you can do you can get rid of memory blockers and those Digimon that, manipulate the Evo of warping. You can get rid of those easy. You can get rid of Bokomon. You can get rid of everything. I'm going to just be honest. You can get rid of everything. Most of the time, they aren't going to be able to swing over this guy anyway. So he's going to be swinging for a lot of damage. Big dick energy over here with this guy. He's so strong. And a lot of people are like, man, black fucking sucks. It's not good this format. It's going to be good next format. Why would you play that when you can play something like blue? And I'm here to tell you that this will beat the shit out of blue. You just gotta trust it, man. You gotta get in there. You gotta grind this deck. It's just really good, and I really stand by it. Like I said, with all the testing I've done, it's nuts, man. You feel so good just swinging for 5 checks almost every single turn. Just 5 checks, man. 5 checks. But yeah, that's the level 6. And now for the level 7s, I do play only 2 copies of Zwart Defeat. I've seen a lot of comments as to why I didn't play things like Chaosmon. And the reason why I don't play Chaosmon is because honestly it's not really needed. There isn't anything that you can't just beat over by just swinging over it or just popping it with your effect when attacking. And most of the time, the games don't last that long. If they last that long, you're going to lose. So why would you want it to last that long? Man, Zwart Defeat just puts in work. The main reason I put in Zwart Defeat is because one, Zubagon Punch really helps this card. It's kind of like how Black played the Zwart Turbo, where you would Digivolve on the Megadramon into the metalgreymon and then pop stuff with the Digiburst effect, and then Digivolve into Zwart Defeat. That way you have a Zwart Defeat with blocker. Well, that facilitates the same combo, but with Zubagon Punch. So you would Digivolve, swing for your 5 checks, and then you would either add, if you haven't already used the Dorugreymon effect, you can add the Dorumon's effect. You can add the Dorumon to gain a memory. Even if your opponent has a memory blocker on board, you will still gain that memory because you'll delete them before anything happens. So you'll gain that memory when you swing. It'll put you at 1 memory. Then you can go ahead and just digivolve into Zwart Defeat, pop their memory tamer, put them at 2, and there's nothing that can do. Most of the time, I've either swung at security and I had this guy brought out and at 3 memory, went ahead and activated Zubagon Punch, took out all their security, and then I was left at 1. Digivolved into Zwart Defeat, popped their tamer, and then left them with 2 memory. I believe it's 2 memory, and they have to deal with the Zwart Defeat that has reboot and blocker. What do you do after that? 16k. So it's not like they can just sit there and try to wyvern's breath it or just beat over it with something like Sunarizamon. And even if they try to kill him with Sunarizamon, you'll neg them more than it hurts you. So it's just a really good card. Chaosmon is just really good if you want to get rid of Digimon the slow way. I always find myself piercing over Digimon, but not being able to just end the game. Zwart Defeat just helps you end the game because there's literally nothing that they can do without their memory tamers. So now I'll get into my matchups. I played. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I pretty much dodged blue if there were blue at this event. It was very small. I want to say it was like maybe 12 people. I went XO. I played 3 black decks and 1 yellow deck. I think it was like yellow shine hybrid. I beat that. But even before the event, like every day I get home, I get off work, I hit up Discord, and then I just play people and I grind. Like I said, this deck has a really good matchup against every color besides something like red because it's just so cheese. They can just end you really fast with the ancient, and there's nothing you can just really do about that because you're a stack-based deck, and they're not. But like I said, against blue, you have a 50-50 matchup. Most of the time with this deck, I chose to go second, especially in this tamer-filled format. Everyone's going to want to throw down their 4-cost tamer, giving you 4 memory to work with. And like I said, you'll be able to go into this big boy by turn 2 and kill them for game by turn 3 or even turn 4. It's just that fast compared to most other decks. And in blue, like I said, with the sources. So just say we have this guy in our sources. So we got him build up. We got this. We'll save one of these. We have this. For example, we have this, but matter of fact, let me find a Sunarizamon. We have a Sunarizamon and our egg. Where is our egg? And we have an egg. And we swing into security, and we hit a Tommy. See if I can find one. So if we hit the Tommy, Tommy's gonna strip our sources. Or if they hard play Tommy, if we hit Tommy in security, Tommy's effect is trash 3 Digivolution cards from the bottom of your opponent's Digimon. So when attacking, we swing at security, and we're gonna add this. So that's 1, 2, 3. So we just lose these. And we still swing for 2 checks. That's better than nothing. And we're going to survive that. But what I'm saying is, like, even though they strip the 2 sources, most of the time, unless they have, like I said, the Izzy Joe to back up that combo, they're trying to facilitate. They're not really doing anything. Because they have to have both of these cards in tandem in order to just completely strip all of our sources. And by that time, we've already won the game because you should already have like a Digimon or a Tamer in waiting. That way you can just swing for game in the following turns. But like I said, you're going to always be replenishing your equips under this guy because his effect just doesn't care about getting source stripped. Yeah, they may be able to lock you down, but for how long? Um, like I said, this deck's really good. If you like this deck, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you think you can build a better deck and want to play, let's play. I'll be glad to show people that this deck is good. I'll drop my Discord and the links down below. That way we can play, and I'll take you to church, man. I'll take you to church, and I'll let you see our Lord and Savior Dorugoramon in battle. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.